Hey everybody, it's your old pal Robert from ThrillRide.com. How you doing? So I'm back in Burbank because after visiting the Mystic Museum here a few weeks back, I took note of a store right across the street from it called Blast from the Past. It's kind of a retail establishment dedicated to all kinds of pop culture, collectibles and toys and all kinds of stuff, and I thought, this is the store I need to see. So we're gonna take a look around inside. I have a feeling it's gonna be quite a bit of fun. And of course today I'm wearing another Thrill Rag shirt. This one is the Funsville Park logo shirt, one of the 12 Thrill Rag shirts available, and of course every sale helps support the channel, so take a look when you get a chance and see if something tickles your fancy. But yeah, really excited to go take a look around what I'm sure is going to be a very warm, comfortable nostalgia bath. So let's go take a look around.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, just walked in the front door, and this is a a museum of my childhood that I had and desperately wanted to have. Oh yeah, ton of good stuff in here. So cool. Now I just spoke to the proprietor, and he said Blast from the Past has been in this part of town for well over 15 years and in this location for maybe 8 or 9. I don't know how I missed it, but better late than never. Oh, look at this right up here. Yeah, that's beautiful. Love that Predator disc weapon. When I was a kid, the Planet of the Apes movies were among my favorites. Saw all 5 of them, all the way through that very bizarre final Battle 4, but love them to death. And the new ones are great too. I finally just saw Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. Really enjoyed it. And are these supposed to be Hypnotoads maybe? As purses? Can't tell, but they're pretty cute. And look at this, you've got an Elvira tiki mug. I believe that is a killer clown from outer space. I guess that's a mug. I don't know what that is, but for 40 bucks, oh man, so great. Oh, and look at up there, you've got a couple of Gremlins, Gizmo and Stripe, and then it looks like Cthulhu there. Yeah, in the end, oh, stunning. I love this little dragon statue here by the front door, and then behind it, oh my goodness, the horror toys I never knew existed. I mean, these are pretty spectacular. Love the new stuff, the Thanksgiving thing, and here's a deep cut London After Midnight. Ah, a movie that apparently is lost forever. We're still hoping they're going to discover some of the rare prints somewhere, but look at that. Oh, that's great. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Wolfman. Crazy. That's badass. Got a pumpkin head and zombie grabbing puppet. And then right next to it, a killer clowns from outer space popcorn bazooka. Oh, good lord. 125 bucks. Ah. Desperate desire for that. Right, here's some more of those Kiki Tikis, the 2 Gremlins, Cthulhu, and you got an Indiana Jones hand painted. Oh my goodness. Look at this little Haunted Mansion statue of Silas Crump and his dog Bones right outside the cemetery. Oh, and of course Beetlejuice. I'm sure very well represented here. And they've got a whole cabinet here devoted to Disney merch. Boy, there's something in there for everybody. You got Mickey, princesses, villains. Yeah, I dig that Maleficent there. That's pretty awesome. Oh, and this is pretty great. The dragon blasting the night. That's lovely. Oh my gosh, look at this. Behind the Jigsaw puppet, you've got 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea vinyl, an old VHS. I don't know, 400 bucks. That's pretty tempting. And it looks like there's some pretty big figures here. The cheetah, and then Batman, Kang and Kodos, 2 of my favorite characters from The Simpsons. Absolutely brilliant. And then some more very cool plush down here. Oh, and I'm blanking on the name of the lobster character from Futurama. That's pretty great. These are pretty cute little classic monster plushes. Got Frankenstein, Dracula, and good old Sally. And look at this incredible diorama with a whole bunch of different things in here. Nightmare Before Christmas. Oh my God, look at that Haunted Mansion back there. Oh, with the hitchhiking ghosts off there. And here looks like Phantom Manor from Disney Paris. By the way, incredible ride, incredible ride. And you've got your Ghostbusters back there with the firehouse and Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. And look at this. Oh my gosh, the Bat Cave with the 66 Batmobile. Stunning. And they say everything in here is for sale. I like the mini Galaga cabinet, but this here, the Lost World arcade machine, it's out of order, but I wonder if that's for sale. I love these miniature recreations of Disneyland attraction posters. I've got a couple of these at home, one for the monorail, and I think I need a couple more actually. And being a person of a certain age, I definitely grew up in the era when we had metal lunchboxes branded with our favorite characters, and these are pretty great. Jaws, Back to the Future, Shrek Dragon's Lair, wow. Rocky IV, E.T., oh my gosh, and good old Chucky, yeah. This would just make food taste better if you brought it to school in one of those. I didn't know they made characters this big. Look at this. These Secret Wars figures. Looks like a Spider-Man. And here's my hand for comparison. That is a tall figure. Only 25 bucks. Impressive. And if you're into comic books, boy, you got a pretty decent collection for sale here. It looks like vintage titles and new titles together. I haven't purchased or read a comic book in decades, so I'm not up on this genre of entertainment at all, but boy, there's some pretty cool covers in there. Well, look at this. Science fiction. Is there some sort of DC line I've never heard of? Time Warp. Wow. I keep hearing Todd McFarlane has not given up on a new Spawn feature film, but you know, I'm not going to hold my breath anymore. If it happens, it happens. We'll see. But the collection of figures is still very strong. Oh man, that is a stunner. Not enough stores have giant dragon statues in them. Look at that. Wow, $2,000. Oh. Ooh, that's another lottery win wish list purchase right there. Yeah. I had a whole bunch of these smaller attraction poster reproductions. Love the Space Mountain. Yeah, I might need that. And apparently they have additional designs in the back, so if you don't see what you want, ask. There's another couple of really big cabinets filled with all kinds of figures. You got Funko Pop, and your more sort of traditional articulated sculptures, and oh man, yeah, I guess they get smaller as you go down. Whew. I know there's some people out there who could probably name every single character in this case on site. I'm not one of them though. Okay, that little silver canister with the tubes and what looks like a figure inside, is that from Return of the Living Dead? I don't know. But it's only 20 bucks. The bat wing up there hanging from the ceiling, that's pretty great. It looks like that's Burton's, but I'm not 100% sure. Yeah, some more superhero figures in here. See a lot of Superman and Justice League characters. And then tons, oh Batman goodness, including this very kind of artful interpretation of the Batmobile. Now wait a minute, maybe that's from the animated series? I'm no expert on this one either, so please correct me if I'm wrong. Oh my goodness. You know what? I didn't learn until kind of recently that the character of Harley Quinn was created for the Batman animated series. I had no idea. I think that's right. This double figure of Groot and Rocket. That's beautiful. $400, man. Oh, even if I had the cash, I don't have the space to possess all of these things that I truly want. I've got a whole section devoted to apparel, because you can't have any, or rather you can't have too many nerd t-shirts. Cough, cough, throwrags.com. Oh yeah, love Duffman and the Incredibles. That's awesome. Ooh, look at this, a Japanese Jurassic Park shirt. Oh wow, stunning. Oh, and then facing it, a Texas Chainsaw Massacre shirt. Win and win. Good call, Ghostface. Let's do it. I'm sure I've said it before, and I will never stop saying it. The creature design is maybe my favorite Universal Classic Monsters creature design. Beautiful. And apparently they're finally getting a kind of a remake going. Just don't mess up the creature design, man. That's all I ask. And they've got a nice collection of books and periodicals of some sort, maybe. Oh, there it is. Brief History of Time. I'll be honest, I bought this book and I've read bits and pieces of it, but it's the math is just, it's too much. When he gets deep into that, I gray out. But look at this. So Crazy Japanese Toys, $10. Yeah. Given the amount of Godzilla figures that I own, I might need to purchase that. Oh, and yeah, Wild Wild West. That was another TV show when I was a kid I totally loved. All that kind of steampunk Western stuff was great. Ooh, and look at this again from Japan, a giant Thunderbird 2. Ah, oh, love the Thunderbirds. Still do. And robotics, I kind of remember. Never played with those as a kid. Oh, look at that. There's another Disney deep cut Dragon Slayer. Nice. God, I haven't seen that movie in forever. Well, if you ever wanted to know what Kyle looked like on the inside, there you go. And for only $70, it can be yours. If you're in the market for a purse of some kind, this is pretty strong. I like the Big Bang Theory, but is that Star Command of Jason of Star Command? Maybe. Pumpkins are great, and of course, good old Jigsaw. And some Blast from the Past brand merch. Lovely. Oh, this place has every entertainment medium you could desire. Get some DVDs and Blu-rays, a bunch of old VHS cassettes. Oh man, CDs and games. Oh. And look at this, even old TV guides. Wow. I know there's a lot of different things out there to collect, but this store seems to sell a very big chunk of them, if not all of them. I haven't watched The Simpsons in a bit, but I used to be pretty obsessed. And of course, this version of Mr. Burns from the X-Files episode, just love that to death. But this is maybe my favorite of all time. The Simpsons Tom Jones. That is glorious. The Japanese giant robot kind of world is so huge. And I know very, very little about it, but they sure did produce some of the best toys ever made. Man, one of these classic outside the supermarket mini rides for kids. That's pretty special. I think if Spider-Man actually had a custom vehicle, this is exactly what it would look like. Oh, nice. It's like they have a little screening room back here, and it looks like Labyrinth is currently being displayed. Excellent.
It's a crystal. Nothing. But if you turn it this way.
Oh man, I miss David Bowie so much. What an incredible artist. Is Bob's Burgers the best animated series on television right now? Discuss. And of course, if you're going to sell collectible figures, you got to have some dinosaurs. These dinosaurs are awesome. There's a fair amount of Jurassic Park merch in here, yeah. Including the big Barbasol can. Nice. That's pretty excellent. I'm kind of embarrassed to admit I've never seen any of Game of Thrones. I keep telling myself I'm going to invest the weeks and weeks to do that, but it's such an effort. I don't know. I'm not sure I'm ready to commit. Pretty cool selection of movie and TV posters. You know, I actually thought Predators was a pretty decent sequel. Very unusual casting. Adrian Brody is an action hero, but I thought he pulled it off. And oh man, this right here for Firefly. So I was very late to the Firefly party. I knew it was a series that only had like a handful of episodes. Never saw them. And a friend of mine ribbed me for years. Daryl, if you're watching, thank you. Because he eventually got me to get on this. And it's one of the best TV series I've ever seen. Love it to death. I'm not quite sure what this poster is advertising. Some kind of a circus? Napoleon Rancy. The oldest and the most modern circus, I think. My French is so poor. Toute la journée, visite de son amusant collection. Anyway, lovely illustration. That's great. Oh, and I might as well say here and now, Disney can't build that new Villains Land in Disney World fast enough for me. That needs to happen as soon as possible. It's hard to pick a favorite, but I think Lumiere may be my favorite character from Beauty and the Beast. Just so much fun. The renewed love for Halloween 3 Season of the Witch really warms my heart. I'm so glad it has been reevaluated over the years. And you've got the 3 classic Silver Shamrock masks. Yeah. And I've said it before in prior episodes, but you can put me down as a huge fan of the entire new Halloween trilogy they just did. I know it's divisive, but I freaking loved all of them. Just fantastic. And Jamie Lee Curtis is a national treasure, a goddess. Just taking a look through some of their poster collection back here. I tell you, I just am giggling like a loon walking through here. It is too much fun. Oh yeah, I think that's a is that a Fallout reference? Not 100% sure. Certainly feels in that vein. And boy, if you haven't seen the Amazon Prime series Fallout, do yourself a favor. Also one of my favorite TV shows of all time. Yeah, another absolutely beautiful poster illustration for one of the greatest horror movies of all time. Good old Nightmare. And when it comes to movie taglines, this one it's up there. It's up there with some of the best. I like going to places where they have pop culture references that I don't get at all. Like some of these things are just brand new to me, including this strange, I don't know what you call that dinosaur clown dragon thing. Feels Japanese, but I'm not going to swear to that. And this weird woman winged thing. Clueless, but I love it. Boy, you really have to look around carefully because there's so much goodness here. It's easy to miss. Faulty Towers, another one of my favorite TV shows of all time. There's an episode that I think made me laugh harder than any other moment in television ever. It's the one where they have to deal with a corpse, and if you know it, you know it. It's gut-busting. I don't know what this little creepy spell book is all about, but it's pretty fun. I love the eye and the hand creeping over the top. Yeah. Here's another really cool vintage circus poster for the original Adam 4-Pow shows. Never heard of that, but I love that it features Uno, Queen Supreme of the Serpent Kingdom. Absolute mistress of the writhing, strangling monsters. That is some excellent copywriting. And this bookshelf features shrink-wrapped copies of vintage TV series and sci-fi property novels. A lot of Star Trek novels in here. Ed McBain. Oh yeah, it's a whole bunch of sci-fi stuff. Oh yeah. A little shelf devoted to my man H.P. Lovecraft. Yeah, he's a troubling personality, but boy, he wrote some amazing early speculative fiction. Yeah. Again, something for every interest in here. Good grief. Walt Disney Mars and Beyond, a Tomorrowland adventure. Oh, $400. Dang. I mean, I truly do not have a wall big enough to hang this on, but whew, just put it into storage until I do. Oh, and there's my boy. Looks like a Godzilla collector cup. And look at that topper on there. Yeah. And dig these Back to the Future characters. You got Marty, Biff, Doc. And then right here looks like a whole bunch of Toho Kaiju. You got King Ghidorah there looking awesome. Looks like a bunch of Ultraman monsters. And oh yeah, there's a little mini King Ghidorah. Adorbs. Oh, and right next to it, is that Batra? Evil Mothra? I think so. Okay, here's another thing. This $10 Mecha Demon. Ah, I have no idea where that comes from, but it is fantastic. Love that. If anybody knows what that's from, please leave a comment down below. Okay, I'll be perfectly honest. If you asked me what the name of the robot on Lost in Space formal name was, I would not have come up with Robot B9. But there you go. Danger, Will Robinson. I'm glad Steven Spielberg always stuck to his guns and pretty much made it like we're never going to have an E.T. sequel. That's a one and done for sure. I like the alternate version on the right there. Ultimate dress-up E.T. for all you completists. Oh, look. There's Ultimate E.T. and Ultimate Telepathic E.T. Gotta get them all, I guess. And this looks like a pretty big wall of just Star Trek action figures. Wow. Crazy, man. If I were going to collect this kind of science fiction toy, I would go for the vehicles. I like figures, but the vehicles are, you know, unless it's Godzilla. I like spaceships and cars and tanks and all that good stuff. A flying sub from Voyage to the Bottom of the Sea. Another great design, and everything in Battlestar Galactica. Yeah. And of course, when it comes to science fiction vehicles, the X-Wing is that's up there in the pantheon of the gods. And I love this version, which has the Dagobah Luke figure and Dragon Snake covered with all that swamp moss. Good memories. And here's a B-Wing fighter that was a Toys R Us exclusive. I guess Toys R Us is back. I'm seeing more stores, or at least collections opening in other stores. It's good to see that brand still existing. And I know TIE fighters and their variants are just completely nonsense when it comes to actual physics and flyability, but dang, they look and sound so great. I'm just about done with season 1 of Andor and loving it. It's such a great ship show. But the sound when the TIE fighters buzz by overhead, it just makes the hairs on my arms stand up. And I love this hanging overhead, a whole sky full of cool flying vehicles. And it looks like Darth Vader's TIE fighter. Yeah. That thing is built to intimidate. And what is this pinata? Is that a Enterprise pinata? I think that's what that is. Oh man, that's pretty fun. Again, how many Funko Pop figures are there? And I appreciate they have the Star Wars and the Star Trek toys next to each other, living in harmony. You don't have to pick. You can be fans of both if you want. Look at this little mini Hoth play set or diorama. Man, Empire Strikes Back, just, that's in my top 10 movies of all time. Yeah. So many mini Star Wars figures. I mean, as a pop culture phenomenon, does anything rival Star Wars? I just don't think so. In terms of the movies, the merch, the theme park attractions, the food, everything. It's gargantuan. So for sure, the frills are not entirely scientifically accurate, but they look great. And again, they were creating dinosaurs to be entertaining at Jurassic Park, so they did a little enhancement here and there. Well, funny discovering this on the eve of the release of Joker Folie à Deux. Now check out this very large sculpture of Joaquin Phoenix's interpretation. I gotta say, I thought the first Joker was pretty great, and I'm very intrigued about the second one. This kind of musical with Lady Gaga. That's just, curiosity factor is pretty strong. And this looks like the section of the store that has got most of my interest here, the pretty incredible horror collection. All kinds of goodness in this little corner, hosted by our good friend Pennywise. Yeah. I need to see It Chapter 2. Haven't gotten to that yet, but I love the first one. I hear I should lower my expectations a little bit for 2, but gotta finish that story. And this looks like a beyond life-size version of Annabelle. I don't know that I'd want that in my house. I know it's not a popular opinion, but I think Predator 2 is actually a really strong sequel. I like it a lot. Prey, though, I think that's my second favorite Predator movie. They killed it with Prey. And I'm looking forward to another one of those historical Predator movies they're working on right now. And, of course, you can't go wrong with Gremlins. And, yeah, Gremlins 2. Another just unhinged classic.
We got look a little Jason in the Argonaut.
Yeah, I've got a full-size Stripe articulated figure at home. One of my prized possessions. Holy moly, this is pretty spectacular. $1,500 for a life-size statue of a Demogorgon from Stranger Things. Yeah. There's a face only a mother could love. That's pretty adorable. A weir pup. Oh man. Look at this collection of masks. Oh yeah. A couple of good Freddys. Iron Maiden's Eddie. Return of the Living Dead. Day of the Dead. Art the Clown. Oh yeah, the They Live masks. Those are very much full of wind. Pretty authentic Leatherface over there. Yeah. And again, the classic Halloween 3 masks on the upper right, and a couple of pretty groovy Michaels there on the left. But just look at that creature mask. So yeah, the Gremlins figure, the Stripe figure that I have, is a lot smaller than these. I like this one in the ski mask. That's great. And there he is. Adorable and evil at the same time. Nice character design, whoever was responsible. And these are pretty awesome Ghoulies figures. I think I said it in the Midsummer Scream episode. It's a very strange trilogy. But the character design again here is pretty fun. I think the cat Ghoulie, he's my favorite. So here's something I didn't know until pretty recently. They made a sequel to The Invisible Man called The Invisible Agent, where he becomes a spy for the government, I think. Was blown away. Completely passed me by, and I need to find that and see it. So I would say American Werewolf in London is also one of my favorite horror movies of all time, and Creepshow is up there too. So much fun. I want my cake. I think that's the line. I'm a pretty big Friday the 13th movie fan. I own the entire series and a whole bunch of cool bonus stuff in this amazing Blu-ray collection. But I'll be the first to admit, they're not great. I mean, as movies, they're just, they're kind of a mixed bag. When they're good, they're really good. But I do recall when Part 4, final chapter, first opened up. And Siskel and Ebert did the review, and Ebert was so dismissive, and he's like, and it's clearly not the final chapter. They've clearly set it up for something more. And of course, a year later, Part 5 in the beginning. He called that. I know they've made a fair number of Pumpkinhead sequels. I've only seen the first, but it's pretty good as I recall. Any film with Lance Henriksen is going to be worth watching. This no swimming sign, a reproduction of the sign from the movie Jaws. Oh man, that's tempting. Well, it looks like Michael found himself a partner in crime. His buddy, the giant skeleton. I don't think this is a Home Depot giant skeleton, but it's pretty impressive in stature. So this headstone that lights up, which is pretty great, it's got the Hatbox Ghost on it. Is the Hatbox Ghost Cousin Hewitt? I'm not sure is that canon? I don't know. I didn't realize there were so many pop culture jigsaw puzzles. Like you can get classic album covers? Oh man. Of course, Night of the Opera, one of the greatest rock albums ever made. Pretty amazing. And then I guess if you were a big fan of Friends, you'd be into this Friends jigsaw puzzle. Oh man, these take me back. When I was a younger feller, I was a dedicated purchaser of Famous Monsters of Filmland and Starlog and Cinemagique. Oh yeah. That was the hard-hitting news of my day. I'm also very much looking forward to this new version of the Fantastic Four. I'm not sold on the subtitle, First Steps, yet, but the idea that it is set in an alternative, retro-futuristic 1960s New York, I'm 100% on board with that. Can't wait. I love the pop culture socks here. All kinds of pretty groovy things, and I certainly approve of their motto. Stand out, be odd. Amen to that. Okay, look at this wrapping paper. That may be the best wrapping paper I've ever seen. Yeah. It's sitting here in this really groovy vintage wheelchair. It's the super creepy clown from Poltergeist. Yeah, that's pretty strong. Gosh, I wonder what that chair though is from. It kind of reminds me of the wheelchair from The Changeling, maybe? An old George C. Scott horror movie, which is really good, by the way, even if this is completely not associated with that movie. You should check it out if you haven't seen it. The Changeling. It's like a mystery thriller. Super good. It breaks my heart that Furiosa did not do so well in theaters. I loved it. It might not have been quite as spectacular as Fury Road, but a really, really, really amazing movie. And I just want more Mad Max. We can continue to explore that world. And the great thing about Furiosa was it really opened up the wasteland. Like there are so many hints of other areas to explore and stories to tell. Yeah. Oh, who knows? Maybe they'll give Miller another couple $100 million to do one more. And Anya Taylor-Joy, yeah, she's a wonder. Okay, this is Zuni Warrior statue, $600. There's no way I would have that anywhere near me. Still one of the most terrifying things I've ever seen. And it was a freaking TV movie. Okay, I'll just admit to this. When it first aired, I was so freaked out, I made my mom sit in my bedroom till I fell asleep. That's how terrified I was. That Superman symbol is pretty great. I'm not 100% sold on the new version of the S that James Gunn introduced for his Superman, but I'll withhold judgment until we get to see the finished product. Really hoping he pulls it together. I would love to see another great Superman movie. Here's something else new I just learned today. Don DeLuise wrote children's books. So fantastic. So one of the very pleasant sales associates here told me that this Netflix series, The Toys That Made Us, a lot of it was filmed in here. And I believe it. Yeah, they could have shot the whole damn series here. There's another toy I've never heard of, the Johnny Toy Maker, where you actually get to build your own toys. that's a pretty creative thing. Nice. So I love so many roller coasters. I mean, really, truly love. But if I had to pick one, my desert island roller coaster, it would be Disneyland Space Mountain. One of my favorite attractions of any kind, for now and forever. So yeah, I had to have this. And if you need another reason to love Blast from the Past, know that they have their own parking lot. That is so huge in LA, I can't overstate that. All right, I think that is going to bring this one to a close. So as always, thank you so much for coming along, and I hope you enjoyed this look around one of my new favorite retail stops here in California. What a super fun store. I mean, yes, it's a store, but it's also a museum of pop culture history. Really, really a deep dive into just about every kind of fun genre you can imagine. Loved it to death. And if you're here, still watching, I'd really appreciate it if you consider giving it a like and maybe even subscribing. And of course, thanks always to everybody who has subscribed, and those of you who have already bought Thrill Rags t-shirts. Means more than I can say. I say that all the time, but I mean it. It's true. And if you haven't yet visited the website, check out thrillrags.com. And with the spooky season upon us, maybe a vintage faux dark ride shirt will expand your t-shirt collection in a way that'll make you happy. So yeah, take a look. So take care, and we will catch you in the next one.